What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the Brew-Lab with me, Lone Fox. I'm coming at you with another episode of Spoiler Talk. Quite a few spoilers today. Wizard did not disappoint. So we got quite a bit to get through. Let's just get right into it, shall we? First up, got one with a pretty hilarious name. You are already dead. A 1-mana instant speed. Black. 1 black. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Draw a card. I think that's really good. I'm not sure like which deck I would play it in yet, but I think that's a pretty cool effect for 1 mana. I wonder in like which deck this would be the best. Like even something with like Decayed Zombie. The guy just blocks a Decayed Zombie, and then boom, you hit him with this. And you get to draw a card. That's really not a bad little common. Next up. Okay, we got some stuff in Japanese, so I need to, I think, yeah, okay, so this is one card. This is another card. Essence Capture. 2 mana, 2 blue, instant speed, counter target's creature spell. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature you control. Ooh. We've got a lot of these 2 mana counter creature spell. The other one that we've got is Reject. That exiles unless the opponent pays 3. This one's also pretty nice, especially in a set where we want things to be modified and have counters on them. So this might actually end up being a pretty nice little counter spell. And like, man, the way the format is right now, it's just like either you're playing against Orzhov mid-range or you're playing against Naya humans. And there's so many creatures. Even in the Orzhov, there's Edgar, there's the dwarf, there's the bats and the ghasts, and there's actually quite a few creatures. This might be pretty sweet. All right, on to the next one. Another one of these MDFC sagas. This time it's a blue rare one. So Inventive Iteration. 3 colorless, 1 blue, Enchantment Saga. Return, so chapter 1, return up to 1 target creature and or planeswalker to its owner's hand. Okay, very typical blue stuff so far. Chapter 2, return an artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. If you can't, draw a card. I like that flexibility, so it's never just like a dead chapter. Pretty sweet. And then chapter 3, as usual, exile it and it comes back as Living Inspiration. Enchantment creature Moonfolk. It's a 3/3 with flying. Whenever you cast a spell, your opponent can't cast spells with the same mana value as that spell until your next turn. What are people saying about this? Ban until release. Looks pretty good. I don't know how like busted it is. I think it's just pretty good. Nice like stuff happening on every turn. Kind of on the same turn that you'd usually play like a deluge or something. And you do get to maybe draw a card, bounce a thing, and get a 3/3 for your 4 mana investment. That's not bad at all. Next up, Fang of Shigeki. A 1 mana snake ninja. Okay. There's every now and again they need to print one of these. I guess the Tajuru Blight Blade is rotating sooner than this one. So just a 1/1 death touch. It's pretty sweet for those like fight effects, target creature gains damage equal to its power to target creature the opponent controls, and it's got death touch, so just kill it. Nice little blockers, but yeah, that's about it. It's just another one in the long row of these 1 mana, 1/1 death touch in green. Next up, we got the blue one. Looks like from the mana cost in the cycle of these Invoke, and the blue one is Invoke Whirlwind. 1 colorless, 4 blue for sorcery. Gain control of target artifact or creature. Untap it. That's pretty nice. That can win games. I could see that being really, really strong, actually. You know, in those, like, final moments of a match where it's, like, down to the wire. A couple of, you know, points here and there. The opponent taps out, swings at you with everything. You go down to 1 HP. He thinks he's for sure got the victory. And you untap, gain control of his biggest creature. Untap it. Swing in. I still think the red one's the strongest one so far. Probably red, white, black, and now blue in that order of strength, in my opinion. So far. So we still got to see the green one. Next up, we got another rare sorcery. This one's in French. We got to jump into it again. Soul Transfer. 1 colorless, 2 black. For sorcery speed, choose 1. If you control both, and okay, they've done a lot of these in the set, where you need to control both an artifact and an enchantment while casting the spell, then you may choose. It's cool because the opponent can't respond and, like, he'll, I think, the thing that either one of your enchantments or artifacts, that so that it makes it that you don't have both of those. I think it says while casting, so then it would still work. So okay, so if you have both, you can choose both. If you don't, you can only choose 1. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Exile for 3 mana. Creature or planeswalker. Return target creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. Oh, this is super duper strong. Ooh, that's some nice alternate art. This is super duper 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 strong. This is definitely going to see some play. 3 mana exile creature planeswalker is insane. It was just that. And then in a format where there's easily going to be artifacts and enchantments in play, you can also return a creature or planeswalker from the graveyard to your hand. That's really, really strong. Next up, Volus Prosper, another French card. Prosperous Thief. 2 colorless, 1 blue for a creature, human, ninja, ninjutsu, 1 and a blue. Whenever 1 or more ninjas or rogues you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. Oh, nice. The treasures are still sticking around. They're lingering. This is the second card with treasures that I've seen in the set. Quite happy about that. Nice. So you ninjutsu it in, you get a treasure, and then it sits on the board. And then the rest of it, anytime you do another ninjutsu, you get more treasure. Nice. Pretty nice. 3 mana, 3/2. It's just a good static ability for a deck like this. Just like get crazy mana. Lots of things with menace and flying and you know, being ninjutsu'd in, and every time you make a treasure. That's pretty nice. I think that might actually see some play. I can't wait to see how, you know, the 1-drop, the blue 1-drop that makes copies of another attacking creature. That with ninjutsu, that like the ninjutsu deck's looking pretty fun to play, but I still can't see it yet in my mind how it's going to be. There's not enough cards yet spoiled, but I'm really looking forward to that one. This might be one of the essential key components. You know, you can then, like, after you attack, you'll have mana left over to hold up a counter spell or a fading hope or something. It's pretty nice. It's kind of like Goldspan Dragonish for this deck. Next up, Ancrer à la réalité, Anchor to Reality. Anchor Reality. 2 colorless, 2 blue for sorcery speed. As an additional cost to cast this card, sacrifice an artifact or a creature. Search your library for an equipment or a vehicle. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. If the mana value of that card is less than the mana value of the permanent sacrifice, scry 2. It's a little bit expensive, and you have to do a pretty horrible, thing to get it to go off. It's, a lot of stuff to jump through, a lot of hurdles. Then it's a pretty good payoff, I guess, in a vehicles deck. Well, it's also looking really interesting. I can't wait to see how that shakes out. It's looking like Azorius. Ooh, here, look. Another Fox. Fox Tribal. Fox Samurai. Selfless Samurai. Whenever a Samurai can, it gains lifelink until end of turn. Ooh, that's really good. That's a really good one to have. Of these, like, static effects for the Samurai deck, this lifelink is a really good one to have. And then you can sacrifice it and you can choose another target creature you control that gains indestructible until end of turn. When I saw the name Selfless, I had a feeling. I didn't want to read it all the way. They've done it again. Yeah, we had the Selfless Savior, remember. I think it was a 1-drop. This is a 2-drop, but this is a 2/2. And it gives things lifelink. I think this is really, really good. You can, it can attack, get lifelink, then you sacrifice it and give it indestructible. So your thing can attack safely and gain you some life. Then you could somehow get this back from the graveyard every time. I'm seeing ooh. This is going to be really, really good in that deck. This is going to be an automatic 4 of in that deck. I'm certain of it. And probably going to end up in mono white. Nice. Very nice. Next up, we've got Goshintai de la Cruauté Cachée. Something hidden. The hidden something. Hidden cruelty. Huh. Yeah. I thought cruelty in French even had an L. 3 colorless and a black for a legendary enchantment creature shrine. Okay, so this is the black shrine thing. It's 2/2 with Death Touch, and at the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. And if you do, destroy target creature with toughness X or less. That's insane. The shrines deck is going to be so annoying. Where X is the number of shrines you control. So I guess you can max out at a creature with toughness 5 or less if you've got all 5 shrines on board. It's pretty broken. I wonder if there's going to be 2 of each. Pardon me. Next up, we've got Nazumi Blade Blesser. Yeah. Blade Blesser. Wow, that artwork is freaking epic. 3 mana, 2 colorless and a black. It's a common. Rat Samurai. Lots of rats. Now, Nazumi Blade Dresser has Death Touch as long as you control an artifact. So that's going to be easy. You just equip it with one of those things. Nazumi Blade Blesser has Menace as long as you control an enchantment. So this is a pretty great target for your equipments and auras. Menace and Death Touch. Then you just give it some other auras. Trample and whatever. Some counters. Could get pretty good, actually. That's a great little common. Next up, Takenuma, Abandoned Maya. Okay, so here's the cycle is complete. This is the black channel land, as they're calling them. So always come into play untapped. Always going to just add black. And then you just get a pay 4 mana, instant speed, discard Takenuma, Abandoned Maya, mill 3 cards. Then return a creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. So churn and then bring the best thing from your graveyard to your hand. You do it at your opponent's end step, and then you untap with a sweet thing to cast. And it could cost less than 4. It's honestly not awful, but still not as good as the green one, I think. The blue one's pretty ridiculous now in retrospect when I think about it bouncing things on a land. It's basically like Brazen Borrower. Instant speed, Brazen Borrower, just chilling. Anyway, pretty good, but that's the cycle complete. I think it's probably battle between green and blue. The red one was okay, but this one's actually honestly probably third. Yeah, that's how I would rank them. Next up, we've got the Weaver of Harmony. Snake Druid, 2 mana, 2/2. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. Okay. Lord for enchantment creatures. This is looking good again with the little 1/1 green guy. This guy, and this guy, and that one that was spoiled way back that they still haven't shown us yet, but I'm sure it's coming. Kami of Transience. There's going to be a sweet, sweet Enchantress type deck coming in probably Selesnya or maybe Mono Green even. This is going to buff all of those. And it's not legendary, so you can have multiples of them. It is an enchantment creature itself, so when it ETBs, it's going to proc all your enchantment synergies. Amped. And then you can pay 1 mana, copy, tap it, 1 green mana, tap it, copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. Ooh, that's really nice. Reminds me a little bit of the second option on Lithoform Engine, which by the way is like gonna be coming back in the set. It's gonna be so good in the set, but target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. Okay, that narrows it a lot. It's obviously targeted at sagas. You can like put an extra law counter on the saga in one turn. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I think that's definitely going to see play. Another deck that I just cannot wait to build on day one. Then, ooh, we got an Orzhov, big Orzhov enchantment. 5 mana. At the beginning of your end step, choose target permanent card in your graveyard. You may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type with the chosen card. If you do, return the chosen card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and it gains. If this permanent would leave the battlefield, exile instead. Wow, that's epic. I love big enchantments like this, expensive big enchantments that do something weird. It's like full on build around card. So creature. Then you just have some kind of sacrifice deck. Well, you don't really need. Okay, no. This does the sacrificing for you. It's like a free sack outlet at your end step that can bring things back to the battlefield. I think that's pretty bust though. We'll have to see. I can't think of anything right away, but wow, what an effect. It's like a free sack outlet. It'll just trigger on your end step. You can sack something. That already is like pretty good for your sacrifice synergies in your sacrifice deck. And then you get to bring back something from the graveyard to the battlefield. I think that's pretty busted. All right, next up, Oni Cult Anvil. Oh yeah, these are the guys that I think the Oni Cults are the guys that stay up in the mountain, in the mono red mountain place. Whenever one or more artifacts you control leave the battlefield during your turn, you create a 1/1 colorless construct artifact creature token. This ability triggers only once each turn. Okay, that's cool. And you can sacrifice an artifact, and Oni Cult Anvil deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain 1 life. That's pretty sweet little artifact. You can have some sort of sacrifice artifact deck, I'm guessing, where you like constantly having artifacts leaving the battlefield, and then every time you make these are the 1/1s, and then you sacrifice the 1/1s, and they do damage, and you gain 1 life. That's pretty nice. You can have like 4 of these on board, and pump out a bunch of these little tokens, and then just ping the opponent to death. Yeah. Next up, Spinning Wheel Kick. XX and 2 green for sorcery speed. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each of X target creatures and or planeswalkers. Wow. Wow. So it's one of those ones where you got to always like divide the number by 2. So if you have 4 mana or 6 mana in this case, because you also got to pay the additional 2. If you have 6 mana, you could go X is 2. And then you could target 2 creatures or 1 creature and 1 planeswalker. And you have like one big creature that's super strong. You can like, instead of having it only fight one thing, you can kill 2 creatures now, potentially. That's for a lot of mana, of course, but that's, I still think, pretty good in mono green. Like maybe like a 1 of. Nice. Next up. Ooh. Looks like some Reyes here and another fox. Ooh, look at this artwork. Okay, getting excited. March of the Wretched Sorrow. March of Wretched Sorrow. X and black, instant speed. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile any number of black cards from your hand. The spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. Okay, so okay. That's the cycle. There's been others like this. And then it deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. Ooh, reminds me of it was that black one from Theros. Anyway, you know the one I mean. -X, and you gain X life. That's pretty good. It's weird how this is worked. It's the same with the other one. So like you declare how much X is going to be first, and then you start exiling stuff from your hand, and then it'll reduce the cost of what you have to eventually pay by the number of cards that you've exiled from your hand. Or you can just pay the X without the cost reduction. I guess in a pinch when you've got no mana left and you need to react to something, you can just like discard your whole hand or exile your whole hand and pay like 1 black to like kill something important or gain a bit of life. I think pretty damn sweet card. It's been a while since black had this type of thing. A little bit of life gain also is great. Light Pause. Emperor's Voice. A 2-mana 2/2 legendary Fox Advisor. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to that aura, and with a different name than that aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield attached to Light Pause. So you bet, wow, that is so good. You play this on turn 2. On turn 3, you put an aura on it. You immediately get to look for another aura with a different name that is the same mana cost or less, and you get to put it on the battlefield and attach it to Light Pause for free. It'll have like 2 auras on it on turn 3. Potentially more. You could cast like maybe 2. You could build it. Ooh, this is going to be so fun. I cannot wait. Fox Tribal, day 1. Tune in. Don't forget to tune in. Next up, we got another one of these MDFC sagas. Okiba Reckoner Raid. Each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life on both Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And then on Chapter 3, boop, flips into Nazumi Road Captain, a 2/2 with Menace. Vehicles you control have Menace. That's a good little common. 1 drop for your maybe black vehicles deck or something. Maybe some kind of a Esper vehicles deck. Next up, we got the Mobilizer Mech. I'm liking this set so much, guys. I don't think I can understand like how much I'm liking this set. 2 mana, 3/4 with flying. What? Whenever Mobilizer Mech becomes crewed, up to 1 other target vehicle you control becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. That means it can attack without being crewed. Is that right? because an artifact sits in your artifact zone, and it only becomes a creature when you crew it, and then you can attack. So when you crew this one, it makes another one that you have that's a vehicle that isn't crewed an artifact creature. So then it's just a creature instead of being a vehicle, and you can attack with it and the mobilizer mech, but only like having to crew the one. That's pretty freaking strong, and it's a 3/4 for 2 mana flying. That's just alone is really good. I think this is really good card. Keep your eyes out for mobilizer mech in your vehicle brew, perhaps alongside Okiba the Reckoner Raid. Next up, I've been seeing people raving about this already on social media. It's the only card that I kind of saw today. Cloudsteel Kirin, 3 mana 3/2. Artifact creature, equipment Kirin, not legendary. It's got flying. And equipped creature gets flying. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, I can see why. I didn't read the whole thing. I can understand why people were upset. You can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. And it's got reconfigure 5. I think that's just really easy to interact with. You can just, kill it when it's a creature, kill it when it's an artifact with artifact removal. It's really expensive reconfigure. I don't know what people are losing their minds about. Unless there's like a way to give it indestructibility permanently, kind of like a la Faceless Haven Facebook combo. I don't think it's really that problematic, but I think of like the interaction where it would like, you're at that point where you're just about to lose the game and the opponent's going to kill you, and then you just manage to like quickly reconfigure this onto something. Then they can't. Then even if they get you below 0, you can't lose, and they can't win. And then, but you can win. In the following turn, it's that like when you're like desperately again, kind of one of those cards like the other one I was looking at earlier, where you're like right down to the wire. 1 point of life will decide the game, and this might, put you over the finish line. Next up, CGB's been really happy about this. It's all over his social media. Spell Piercer. It's a reprint apparently. Spell Pierce is 1 mana instant, counter target non-creature spell, and its controller pays 2. See why he's happy. This is going to be a pain in the ass. It's just like a better... It's non-creature spell. There's that. I play a lot of creature decks, but like, I guess Jawari Disruption is still going to be more like of a annoyance until it rotates out than Spell Pierce, but still, I think this is going to end up in a lot of decks. Annoying blue control decks, so get ready. And then, last but not least, the last card of the day, we got Reckoner Bankbuster. 2 mana 4/4. These, is it just me or these artifacts are like super overstated? These vehicles. 2 mana 4/4 with crew 3, and there's things that easily crew, like that are crews as having 2 power more than it. This is a battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. You pay 2 colorless, remove a charge counter from it, draw a card. So you can draw potentially 3 cards. And then, if there are no charge counters on it, you create a treasure token and a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature crews. There we go. Even this card itself makes a thing that can crew itself. Man, that's super good. That's really, really good, man. I think this vehicle deck is going to be a thing to worry about. Keep your eyes peeled. All right, but that's going to be it for today's video. One last little refresh. Ah, got a new card. Sky Blessed Samurai. 6 colorless and a white. Human Samurai costs 1 less to cast for each enchantment you control. So it could end up just costing you one white. And it's just a 4/4. Just a 4/4. Meh. Alrighty. That's going to be it for this video. I will see you all tomorrow with some fresh brews. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More spoiler content as well coming tomorrow. I will see you all then. Thanks so much for watching. This is Lone Fox from the Brew-Lab, signing out. Peace, y'all.